there everybody, this is a video to show how to assemble and uncase the Musser xylophone that you have as an option to rent here at Central Middle School. I'm going to go through how to uncase it, how to take care of it, and all the requirements of the legal document that you signed saying that you'll carry insurance and take care of it. So we'll get into some of that as we open up the case. The first thing that you'll notice is that it has wheels for rolling it. You won't need to bring this to school anymore, but it is handy for moving it around. You got a handle up here for that. And then this side handle sometimes is Velcroed together, so you'll simply take that apart as you unzip it. You'll probably notice a number on the case that corresponds to the serial number, and that's the school district's inventory system. So if you notice anything wrong with that, let us know. As you unzip it for the first time, you want to make sure that you get all the way around the corners. If you don't get around the corner, that'll put extra pressure on those zippers. So here you go. You open it up for the first time. You'll see some pouches up here. These are for sticks and mallets. This is for a practice pad. Nice gum rubber practice pad, which really helps a lot with rebound. These practice pads fit nicely on the stand that comes with this, so you can use them interchangeably, or you can set it on a table or your own snare stand. There's another pouch here for music or books. And then you'll see the xylophone. Now this first part comes out. Before we get too far, in traveling, some of these bars could get jostled around a little bit. So just put them back in the spot. They should be flat. They should be inside each of these guides right here. 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. So you've got here 1, 2.5 octaves of a xylophone with Paduke bars. The most important part of taking care of this instrument is going to be making sure that the bars don't get wrecked. So you may want to get a sheet, a blanket, a cover of some sort to put over the top of that if you have, animals in your house, or if you have little brothers and sisters, somebody that might, not be able to be aware of how to take care of this. But that's the unit right there. This can go on a bed or a table if you want to. Just be careful if you do set it on a table. Again, maybe put down something soft, because this is just bare wood with paint on it. And so we want to keep that from getting scratched. Everything needs to come back as it was when you got it, which at this point is brand spanking new. Absolutely no scratches on them, no dents anywhere. So whatever you need to do to make sure that that is kept in perfect condition for the next year. That's a long time. So, you may want to think about putting it back in its case when you're not going to use it for a while, if you go on vacation or if you have guests over. So that's the part that you apply on. We'll set that aside carefully here. I'll be really careful about how I may end up rubbing it on things. So then this is a protective layer, okay, that goes between between the instrument and some of the hardware. So now we get to the hardware part. This is a part that might be confusing to some people. We've got two parts, and it's got a custom molded foam system right there for storage and protection. You've got the base and you've got the basket. So let's go through how to do the base first. So this is just a standard tripod. What I always do is put one leg against my leg and pull the other one. So I'm pulling kind of in two directions. You want that to be as wide as possible, but not go past right there. You can see that it flips open, so we'll just kind of go as wide as we can. Tighten that down, just finger tight. You'll notice I mentioned finger tight a lot. That's because we're going to use our fingers. As soon as you start using your hand or your whole arm or a tool of some sort, you've gone too far. These have rubber gaskets and plastic gaskets that will grab. They're going to do the grabbing for you. That's going to be pretty much as sturdy as it ever needs to be. You've got the rubber feet, and now this is the spot where you'll put the basket, that down tube. So right here we've got kind of a toothed pivot arm, and we're going to want to make that pretty much straight up and down, and then tighten that. Again, just finger tight, and that's going to lock into place. You can see that you're going to kind of have to pick an angle. If you do want to do an angle, you'll lock it into place, and that keeps it from kind of gradually tipping over, which could be a problem. So those teeth grab, and you're going to open up the basket up here, and it opens too far. if you just go all the way down with this adjustment knob. So we're gonna just move it up a little bit and just kind of get used to that, but that'll bring this, as you can see, closer together for grabbing onto the practice pad. And then you want it more wide open for the actual xylophone. So I'll put that into the down tube here, tighten that, and that's your height adjustment right there. So you kind of want to predetermine something that's about 2 inches below your belly button is going to be a good height. This turned out to be not quite flat, so I'll make my final adjustment to that angle. Give everything a finger tight test, and then it's ready to put the xylophone together. So what I recommend is turn it so that the angle off to the left is going to be the position that you want. So when I put the xylophone on here, it's going to be this little side piece right here. This little support beam is actually going to go on that part of the basket. So this one's going to go on the single arm that's off to my left, and then the rest of it sits in that basket like that. I'll see if I can hold it up and show once I tighten it. So right now it's fairly loose. You're going to feel the rattling, and it's actually resting on the middle of the basket like I predicted. So I'm going to actually just tighten it with my hand. Hope you can see that. Tighten the basket until it grabs. I'm not going to turn very hard, but just it's going to move and move and move, and then it'll probably stop moving after this arm grabs on here, and this arm grabs on here, and this one's on that brace part way right there. So let's see if I can show you that layout from underneath. Okay, so once again, the brace here, and then the two sides of the cross beams are what get grabbed onto by the basket. So now we've got that set up, and we can practice, okay? If it's at an angle, it's still kind of floppy, so it could fall off. You still got to be kind of careful. Maybe give that a couple more cranks so that it's kind of on there in case it gets bumped. And if it's not flat enough for you, you can readjust the angle. Probably good to have someone else with a hand on it because that's a little wobbly. But there you have it, okay? You can make little adjustments if you need to. You could, stick something, a little spacer under there, matchbook or coaster, if you want to really make things perfectly level. But now you've got your xylophone ready to play, ready to practice on. I will also show, if I won't take this off, I'll show how to assemble the practice pad. So if I pull out my practice pad, I can put that, you can see there's 3 little indents here, and that's to use with this basket. As you can see right now, I could play on this, that would be just fine, but it's going to flop around quite a bit. So if I want to tighten that up all the way, what I usually do is just put it where I'm going to want it and kind of hold it with my body here a little bit, and then kind of give this a spin. It's a little faster than adjusting it a little bit at a time. As you can see here, gradually the basket will clamp on to the practice pad. For me personally, I like to have it so that the elbow or the arm reaches toward me when I'm playing, so I'm not tripping on the tripod on the floor. And that way, this piece of the basket, this arm of the basket, is not in my way as I play right here, okay? Obviously, you just do this all in reverse to pack it all up. Again, please make sure that you are aware of the insurance that you need to carry on this instrument. That's up to you to figure out for your homeowner's insurance. You might need to carry special insurance for this music instrument. And just be aware that it's really just for the student use. You shouldn't be taking this anywhere else. It shouldn't go outside of your practice space, and you shouldn't be allowing anyone else to use it. So if you have friends over that want to play on this, you might want to just put it in the case and hide it under your bed, because you're the only one that's allowed to play it, okay? So hopefully that helps with everybody's first setup of the instrument. We're super excited for you all to be using these instruments in the future. We have a whole bunch of them, so we're really glad. If you ever need to upgrade from this to the larger, majestic marimbas, just let us know. We can always switch them out at any point during the year. Both cost $80 to rent for the year, so we should be good with that. Okay, that's the end of the video. Enjoy practicing on these new mallet instruments.